Hey there, everybody. This is Sleuthy Teacher, and I am super excited to be back with another Nancy Drew playthrough. I am super excited for this video today because this is the first Nancy Drew game I ever played. Not only that, but we celebrated HerInteractive's 25th anniversary this month, and it only seemed fitting to replay the game that the Nancy Drew series started out with. I found my set of discs, I got it up and running on my laptop, and now I am so excited and so ready to play this with you. Let's get into it. We are playing Junior Detective today.
Dear Dad, who would have dreamed taking a semester off to visit Aunt Eloise in Florida would result in another case? Seems a student was murdered at the high school last night, and Daryl Gray, the student council president, found the body. When Aunt Eloise heard, she rushed me right over and introduced me to the principal. He asked if I would try to find out who did it and why. So it's undercover I go. My only contact is Daryl, so I'm off to solve a murder. I'm calling this case Secrets Can Kill. Love, Nancy.
All right, and our game starts in Aunt Eloise's house. Nancy opens with a classic letter at the beginning of this game explaining that a student was found at the bottom of the staircase early in the morning in Paseo Del Mar High, and Aunt Eloise has called Nancy in to see if she can crack the case. So here we are in Aunt Eloise's house, and something I want to point out right from the start. This feature didn't last very long in the games, but in this game, and I believe Stay Tuned for Danger, you had the option of being able to move up and down within the screen. There aren't many situations where that comes in handy, but it is a fun little nugget of information. So digging through Aunt Eloise's end tables here, we have a calling card. And we have a note here on the table from Aunt Eloise to Nancy. It says, Nancy, I had to close the school library early today, but if you need to do any research for your case, the key to the library is in the safe. Remember that you can find the combination in the house if you need it. Be careful, Aunt Eloise. So there we go. Nice little note from Nancy's aunt. And walking around in here as I was doing some sound check and volume checks and everything like that, I really was amazed at how well they remastered this game. They really stayed true to the locations and a lot of other things within the game, just from the brief little exploration that I did as I was trying to get everything ready to record. I thought that was a very, very nice touch when they remastered the game. All right, so here we have some flowers, and you'll notice the letters M-I-T-C-H are in a different color. Interesting. So do a little exploring here.
I need something to make this work. I need something to make this work.
Unfortunately,
I need something to make this work.
it does not appear that we got the classic "It's locked" line in this game. That's kind of a bummer. Alright, so here's the key that we needed for that. And if we open it up, what kind of valuables will we find in this locked chest? A quarter. Had to go through all that work to find a key to get a quarter. Alright. And we have another book over here, and it has the map of Florida over here on this page. Now you'll notice there is a very peculiar pattern that is on the border of this picture, and that is because that is a Morse code message. This game follows along with the pattern that was noticed when we played through Stay Tuned for Danger, where a lot of the puzzles in the game are just basic brain teasers that are not necessary to complete the game, but they do give you a pretty decent glimpse into how to finish the game quickly, or little omniscient clues as to who or what is going on within the story, which I've always wondered who left the clues behind, but I digress. That's not a mystery we're going to be solving today. So anyway, if you start in the bottom left corner, so right here where these 2 dots are, and you go around the circle, going up and then across and then down and across again, it says in class, oh boy, in class, blade upon glass gets you. So in class, blade upon glass gets you. Interesting. So that is a little clue towards some vandalism Nancy is going to do later in the game. And I find it really comical that the puzzle, I guess if you wanted to call it that Morse code message is alluding to is actually taken out of the remastered version. I don't know if it's just because we didn't want to assume that Nancy was down for vandalism or anything like that, but it's interesting. Anyway, from the desk of Eloise Drew, reminder the sophomore book sale is on Wednesday from 3 to 5. Bring book donations to the school on Tuesday. The Paseo Book Club will now meet on Mondays. Change meeting information on school bulletin boards, which those school bulletin boards are going to be very important in a little bit. And here we'll notice some letters up here across the top, some Greek alphabet letters. All right, so now we have found pretty much everything that we needed to in this area. So now we are going to go over into the safe and tackle the puzzle that is the bane of my existence, and that is the slider puzzle. Because of course we didn't get many classic puzzles in this game, but even with that in mind, I still had to throw in a slider. I really shouldn't complain about them all that much. They're really not that awful. They are just not my cup of tea whatsoever. Okay, so move these around. Actually, I think these 3 are already in order. Nope, they're not. That would have been too easy. Okay, let's see here. So while I am working on this, I'm going to try to multitask a little bit. We'll see how well that works out for doing this kind of puzzle. I know probably quite a few of you were expecting a playthrough, or not a playthrough, well, that one faster than expected. I know a lot of you were probably expecting the ranked, or the graded, I should say, video for Treasure in the Royal Tower. That is still coming. Life has gotten extremely busy here between getting ready for the holidays and Christmas coming up and a bunch of stuff I have going on in my classroom. I just haven't had the time to dedicate to sit down and record and then edit through all of that to get that video together. So it is coming. I'm sorry I'm making you wait so long, but I didn't want to rush through something and then put out something that I wasn't completely proud of. So I appreciate your patience. It is coming, and I can't wait to share that with you once it is done. Anyway, that slider puzzle went way faster than I expected. Here we have the login name for Eloise Drew and her password, O Wise Elder. So that is going to come in handy later. Nope, I want to close the drawer. There we go. Okay, and that is it for Aunt Eloise's house. So a super fun feature of this game, she said slightly sarcastically, is that you needed 2 discs to play this game back in the day when I played it, and that is thankfully a feature of the Nancy Drew games that was phased out after this game. So yeah, that's another fun little knowledge nugget for you on this game. Before we go to Paseo Del Mar High School, which is this building right here, let's take a look at this map. So here we have Aunt Eloise's house. We have Paseo Del Mar High. We We have Vandelay Pharmaceuticals, which if you have only played or seen a playthrough of the remastered version of this game, you've probably not seen this location before because this location was completely left out of the remastered version of this game. And you'll see why when we play through. But our next stop is going to be Maxine's Diner. So here it is, good old Maxine's. So lots of different puzzles and things to take a look at here. Here we have some different colored letters which spell out soup, ladle, bolt, cutter. So that hints at two of the tools that we will need to complete some puzzles later on and to complete the game. Here we have the Wordy Chan jukebox, which you will notice is just Nancy Drew spelled backwards. And I don't know if we can actually use this. Let's see here. Aha, we can. Alright, so here we have the, I think that says Manatee Blues, maybe? Or Manatee Blast, something Manatee. Library Blues, Twist and Fall, Bye Bye Jake. Good Golly Miss... Ooh, Good Golly Miss Connie, there we go. Daryl Be Good, Help Me Nancy, Secrets Can Kill, Unchained, Manatee, Murder on My Mind, Jake the Knife, Great Balls of Mystery, Big Girls Don't Die, Sea of Manatees, Long Tall Nancy, oh goodness, I don't know if I can make that one out. It's something Little Nancy, I cannot read those first two lines. Blackout, Shake, Rattle, and Fall. Let's see here, something of Del Mar. I can't quite make out that first word. And Real Something Pharmacy, maybe? Let's see here, what do we want to listen to? I think we need to listen to the classic Help Me Nancy. Ah, yes. That is a beat that can't be beat. Alright, if we take a look at the menu here, we have some more little brain teasers on here. So let's see here. When we take a look at this, the purple letters actually are an anagram. So if you unscramble them, it spells out sabotage, and the letters in red spell out danger. And those ones you don't have to unscramble, it just spells that out. So another fun little brain teaser. Like I said, the majority of the puzzles in this game are all brain teasers, which I personally don't mind. I do find that really fun. But if you are used to the puzzles that we have gotten in all of the other Nancy Drew games, I would say probably from Treasure in the Royal Tower through to Sea of Darkness, it's quite jarring how different these are in comparison to the rest of the puzzles in the Nancy Drew series. So here we have I think it's a napkin holder, and we have some letters that are discolored. So we have a 1, a 5, a 10, and an 11, which if we compare this to the alphabet, we have an A, an E, a J, and a K. So if you unscramble that, you get Jake. And I don't know if you know this, but there is a celebrity sitting at this table. That is right, boys and girls, the one and only time that we get to have Ned on the screen, and it's Ned's Muster. I'm sorry, I just had to make that joke. Okay, so enough investigating Maxine's here. Let's talk to the handsome, the charming, the not terrifyingly remastered Daryl Gray.
You look like you're going to make an excellent addition to Paseo Del Mar High School student body. I'm Daryl Gray, Renaissance man, short order cook, student council president, and professional escort to pretty new students.
Oh, Daryl. So you'll notice that the characters in this game are 2D characters. This is the only game that the characters look like that, but honestly, I don't mind them. I actually really like it, and they're kind of nostalgic for me, which is really great. And I'm also going to point out before we get deep into this conversation with Daryl that Nancy apparently cannot do complete sentences in this game. Don't know why that is a thing, but apparently it is.
Short order, Cook?
I flip burgers here at Maxine's. Of course, that's when I'm not making groundbreaking decisions as student council president.
See what I mean? A diner? Flip burgers? Student council president? The way she's asking these questions, it sounds like Nancy lives under a rock and has never heard of any of these things before.
Flip burgers?
Only the best burgers in town. Check it out. Since the police arrived, they've had every meal here. Burgers are just the tip of the iceberg. I'll make whatever you like. I aim to please.
Police?
Yeah, the men in blue are everywhere. The whole town is freaking out.
Who was murdered?
A student named Jake Rogers. When I found him, it looked like someone had pushed him face first down a flight of stairs. It was nasty.
Face first?
It looked like it to me. One of the police officers said Jake either fell down the stairs on his face or someone beat him up first.
Tell me about Jake.
He wasn't exactly a friend. He came by the diner a few times. Nancy, I hate to leave such a beautiful detective, but I've got a hot grill waiting for me. See you later, okay?
So I apologize for some of the lagginess that you're going to see in this video. I played around with it and I don't know how to make that any better. So for now, just live with the charm. Experience this game in the 1998 glory in which it was meant to be experienced. Alright, so here we have the infamous soup ladle. Because when they remastered this game, they did not get rid of the absolutely unreasonable way to fix a gas leak. So, let's see here. Oh, but first, we need to watch out. I don't know if that was someone, like, trying to intimidate the tomatoes before they started cutting them up. I don't know. Alright, so the way to solve this puzzle is you fix a gas leak with a soup ladle. Because that is absolutely 100% secure and absolutely nothing will go wrong with it. Alright, so here we have the work schedule, and you will notice another code down here. So this one is a alphabet and number cipher, substitute cipher I should say. And when we decode it, it says, Jake's fate happened deliberately. Gravity was not his worst enemy. So I don't quite know who is leaving all of these clues for Nancy to find, who this omniscient being is and why they haven't gone to the police and turned in the culprit if they know what happened. It's best to just not ask questions. Alright, so we have done everything in here that we need to. Now we are going to go to the high school. Let's go. And here we are, the high school, Paseo Del Mar High. So, home of the Fighting Manatees. I have some pictures here in the trophy case. Can we also just take a moment to just really appreciate how fantastic the music is in this game? How atmospheric is this? It's fantastic. It's so good. Alright, so this says, find the morning edition and discover another crime. The answer is in black and white to who will do the time. And student of the month is Hal Tanaka. Way to go, Hal. And navigation in the hallways in the school is a little clunky, but nothing we can't handle. And I think if we turn around, there should be another bulletin board here for us to look at. If we take a look at this one, we have a message written upside down. It says, "In the face of danger, against a killer if you dare. A very unlikely couple could be a helpful pair." Interesting. Alright, so now that we have checked that out, let's go meet another one of our suspects. The man, the myth, the legend, Hester Hulk Sanchez.
Whoa, a new girl at school. Do you realize what destiny has brought you today? Yours truly, Hector Hulk Sanchez.
How did you know I was new here?
Hey, you're talking to the man, the #1 football player in the state of Florida. I know all the beautiful girls at Paseo Del Mar High. Are you kidding?
Who do you play for?
You are new around here. I play for the Manatees, one of the best teams in the state. I leave the others in the dirt, man. Soon it's college ball, and then the Miami Dolphins. Showtime!
One of the best teams in the state?
Haven't you been reading the papers? Paseo Del Mar High School has been Florida's #1 football team for the last 4 years. Is there anything else I can enlighten you on?
I guess you'd have to be pretty tough to be #1.
Listen, sweetheart, to be the best, you gotta be aggressive and show them who's boss. Like the guy who killed Jake.
That's a pretty harsh way to talk about someone who was murdered.
You have to be aggressive to survive in this world. Jake just couldn't cut it, that's all.
How well did you know Jake Rogers?
I knew Jake, but I didn't hang out with him. Sorry, can't talk now. I gotta go to practice later.
So there you go, Hulk. One of the best football players at Paseo Del Mar High. Here we have a phone number, 555-JUDO. We have another puzzle over here. It says, "If you can read this, then make no mistake, a genuine first-class detective you'll make." So you start down here and you read backwards and then you just move up. So another fun little brain teaser. And we have 3 more here. It says, "Nowhere to turn to, nowhere to hide. Let the books in your library be your answer guide." And then this one says, "A symbol of kanji worn with great pride reflects a big secret that someone must hide." And then this one says, "He did what it took to make the grade, even if it meant cheating to keep up his charade." So fun little story about those 3 cards as we navigate through our hallways here. When I first played this game, like I said, this was the first game that I ever played. I had never experienced a Nancy Drew game before I started playing this. And how I figured out how to solve those 3 puzzles was I took a CD case that was reflective and I held it up to the screen and I saw that I could read it in the reflection. And I thought I was the smartest person on the planet for figuring that out. I was so proud of myself. And then I ended up teaching myself how to write backwards and upside down and all that stuff because I thought it was so cool. Which actually now is a very helpful talent to have because my goodness, the amount of times I have to write upside down at work is shocking. Alright, so here we have another puzzle here. And you'll notice we have some letters that are underlined. So if you take a look at all of the underlined letters in order, it says, "Search below danger sign in kitchen." Well, we already did that. It's referring to the kitchen in Maxine's Diner. And below the danger sign is where we found the bolt cutters. Alright, so we have some magazines here and another character we'll look at in a second. Just to give you a sign of the times when this game came out, we have some magazines to look at. You've heard of 17, but this is 15. 10 steps to better grades. Best friend or worst enemy, bringing up parents' right in a teen writing competition. Can we talk about that hat, though? Oh my gosh. Stunning. And we have the sound. And, oh, I thought we could click on her world. Maybe we can't. Nope. But apparently we're clicking on the sound again. Alright, so enough looking at magazines. Let's talk to Connie.
Hi, I'm Connie. You're not from around here, are you? Usually Paseo Del Mar High is really quiet and boring. Today, it's totally out of control.
Is it that obvious?
It's a small school. Nothing ever happens here. A new student is big news.
Oh, look at that. Nancy is talking in complete sentences. You go, girl.
I can't believe you even noticed me with all the excitement on campus today.
We girls have to stick together. There are a lot of wolves walking around campus.
Wolves? Here I thought I was here to investigate a murder, not a werewolf outbreak. That's not until a later game.
Aren't you even concerned about the murder?
Jake's dead. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Why so casual about Jake's death?
Jake Rogers was a total creep. Nobody liked him. I gotta go now. Later.
Alright, so we're not done talking to her.
What's up, Nancy?
So I love how in this game, the characters just kind of excuse themselves after certain dialogue options. And you can just click on them again and all of a sudden you have all of these new things to talk to her about. Or them about, I should say. It's not just exclusive to Connie.
What do you know about Hulk Sanchez?
He's a big jock on campus. Never dated him or anything.
How well do you know Daryl Gray?
I wish I knew him better. He's the only guy I'd ever consider dating. He's student council president, holds a cool job at a diner called Maxine, and drives a Porsche 911.
Not to mention the fact that he is positively dreamy.
Drives a Porsche and works at a diner? That doesn't compute.
Daryl's family was rich and used to throw major parties all the time, but not anymore.
Goodbye.
Bye, Nancy.
Okay, so that is Connie. Here we have some payphones, and we'll mess around with those in a little bit. But before we do that, we have more bulletin boards. Let's see here. I know there is one. There it is. Okay, so if we look on the side of this paper, it says, excuse me, side of school, 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 side of school. So I might be wrong about this assumption, but I think we need to check out the side of the school. Call me kooky, I could absolutely be wrong, but you know, something is just telling me that that's what we have to do. Alright, and we'll meet our last suspect here, since we're right here. Really quick, I cannot remember if okay, yep, I did look at that. Let's go meet Student of the Month, Hal Tanaka.
A new face. Hi, my name's Hal. You sure arrived on a day with a lot of activity.
And once again, Nancy is back to being a woman of very few words.
New face?
I study every face I see. To me, the face reveals a lot about a person.
Did you ever study the face of the guy who was killed?
Oh yeah, Jake Rogers was a dark soul. He created a lot of trouble.
Dark soul?
Jake wasn't a happy person, and made others around him very unhappy too.
How did Jake make people around him unhappy?
I feel uncomfortable speaking about this now. Please, excuse me. I'm behind in my studies and I must get back to the library. Bye, Nancy.
I must go to the library, but I'm staying right here.
Hi, Nancy.
What can you tell me about Daryl Gray?
Daryl found Jake's body this morning. He's very popular, and a good politician, too. Just like his father.
Like his father?
Yes, Daryl's father is former U.S. Senator Eugene Gray. I hear he was a great politician, but not a very good businessman. I think his company went bankrupt a few years ago.
Have you heard of Hulk Sanchez?
Heard of him? Hulk holds the conference record for quarterback sacks. He's been the state's #1 player since he was a freshman. He's also a candidate for a big university, even with his injury.
Injury? Did he bruise his ego?
Injury?
Hulk got hurt a few weeks ago. Ever since that game, he hasn't played the same. I worry that his chances of playing for a top school are not as good as before his injury.
Do you know Connie Watson?
Yes, we've been in a few classes together. I think she was dating Jake Rogers.
Talk to you later.
Farewell, Nancy.
So according to Hal, Connie was dating Jake. Interesting. Alright, let's see if we have something else to look at on here. So here we have another hidden message. It says Jake's locker combo was part of his fame. Just find a phone to decode his name. So that is a clue for another puzzle. I will say this game has not the best hint system in it, and we're going to take a look at that now. But if you do take the time to decode the little codes that you can find around the game, it does do a relatively decent job of pointing you in the right direction. So here we have a phone book. Don't see many of those nowadays. And you'll notice the corner is torn out for Vandalay Pharmaceuticals. We can see part of the writing there. And we're going to use the phone card we found in Aunt Eloise's house and call our friends. So we'll start with Bess. So 1, 5, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 6, 8. Which the numbers in Bess's phone number spell out the word hint.
This is Bess. Bess, I need some help. Any ideas? Can you use Aunt Eloise's login and password to access the school administration computers? I bet they're in the teacher's lounge.
Okay, so if you notice, Bess's voice sounded oddly familiar, didn't it? Maybe it was just a fluke, though. Let's call George. So 1, 5, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 2, 5, 8, 3. And George's phone number spells out the word clue.
Fane residence. George, this is Nancy. Can you give me some advice? Why not go to the school library and look around? There's always so much to learn there.
That's weird. George's voice sounded awful familiar, too. So, another fun little fact about this game is Lonnie Manella, the voice of Nancy Drew in this game all the way through to Sea of Darkness, also did the voices for Bess and George in this game. So, just a fun little knowledge nugget there for you. And now, let's call Ned. And Ned's phone number spells out help.
Hello?
Hi, Ned. I'm in a jam. Do you think you can help me out?
Try to find the victim's locker. It may hold some clues.
Alright. So Ned said we need to check out Jake's locker, and we'll do that. You can also find some other phone numbers here throughout the game, and some of them are actually pretty fun. So we're going to call 555 TONY.
Hey, this is Tony's Pizza. Leave your message.
And now I want pizza. Great. Alright, and we can also call 5. Oh my goodness. 555 JUDO, which is the phone number we found on the poster outside of the gym.
You have reached the Crane School of Defense. For more information on our programs, please see our advertisements in the Paseo Times and Judo Today magazine.
You can also call 555-JAKE.
Hi, this is Jake's Locker.
So you can call Jake's Locker, which is pretty funny. You can also call Aunt Eloise's phone card. So you can call 555-1204.
The red light is blinking, but I suppose I should read the menu. I can't figure out. I'm quite. It's blinking, but I don't know.
That makes me so happy. That voice very much gives me Prudence Rutherford vibes. Makes me so happy. It also sounds a little bit like Michael Gray, aka Arglefumph. I don't know why, but I hear that voice and it makes me think of him and his Prudence Rutherford impersonation that he has done in some of his video walkthroughs, which if you haven't watched his videos, my gosh, what are you doing with your life? So here we have the maintenance room, and we're not going to go in here quite yet. Okay, so now that we've talked to all of our suspects, we actually have to go back and talk to some of them all over again. Lots of talking in this game.
What's up, Nancy?
Do you know Hal Tanaka?
Not very well. He's an exchange student from Japan and a total workaholic. He told me he's trying to get a scholarship for college. Lately, he's looking really burnt out. I think the pressure is getting to him.
What pressure?
Hal is maxing out on course hours this year. He needs to prove himself if he's going to get a scholarship. If he doesn't get a scholarship, he'll have to go back to Japan. That would be a total disgrace for his family.
Didn't I hear you were dating Jake?
Hey, a girl can make a mistake, can't she? I gotta go now. Later.
Alright, so there you go. More information from Connie. And let's see here. Since we're going in this general direction, might as well go talk to Hulk again.
How's it going?
What can you tell me about Connie Watson?
She hangs out at the gym a lot. I heard she's been having a real tough time.
Tough time?
I heard she's been having a cash flow problem.
Do you know Hal Tanaka?
That dude is always studying. He's a huge fan of mine, real smart guy. But I never understood why a brain like Tanaka would hang out with slime like Jake Rogers.
Hal was a friend of Jake's?
Let's just say I saw them talking together a lot. Jake's locker was right next to Hal's. Now that I think of it, last time I saw them together, Hal seemed pretty upset.
Interesting. I wonder what that was about.
What can you tell me about Daryl Gray?
He seems like a cool guy. His family used to sponsor the annual football awards dinner until last year. You know, he's the one who found Jake's body.
I'm really sorry you got injured. Does that affect your chances of playing college ball?
Where'd you hear that? I'm as strong as ever.
And now he doesn't want to talk to us either. But that's okay, because we're actually done talking to him for now. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to go find Jake's locker. And in typical Nancy fashion, tampering with crime scene evidence is a federal offense and is punishable by law. Violators may incur a maximum prison sentence up to 15 years and fined up to $100,000 and $100,100. There we go. And like I said, in typical Nancy fashion, we're just going to ignore that note and get into his locker. So his password is his name in number form, so that would be 5253. Alright, and we are in. So lots of things to look at in here. We have a copy of Judo Today. If we take a closer look, it says Florida, Paseo Del Mar, masked marauder flattens foes. Onlookers and participants alike were stunned when an unknown last-minute entry swept the competition and won Paseo Del Mar's 5th annual men's judo tournament this month. Wearing a cloth mask to conceal his identity, the winner, who identified himself only as Nineco, impressed the capacity crowd with his quickness and control. Such excitement and his incredible throwing techniques will make next year's competition even more of a treat. Will the masked man return? So interesting. A masked judo prodigy swept the competition, sounds like. And here we have a treatise on etiquette. Etiquette is the art of talking to people in a method that puts them at ease and makes them feel comfortable. Etiquette is also essentially founded on reason. Just as several questionable lawyers have established many unreasonable laws, so likewise many teachers have introduced unreasonable etiquette practices. Our main objective is to adjust our behavior in several distinct ways. One adjustment is in our behavior towards men, women, superiors, our equals, and those below us. For example, it would be downright rude to attempt to persuade a man or woman equal to us to eat. However, it would be downright rude not to attempt to persuade someone of lesser means to eat. It is critical that we all understand these significant nuances relevant to good etiquette. Interesting. Not quite sure why Jake would have an English essay book about etiquette in his locker. Maybe he was trying to fix his ways and be less of the apparently rude personality he was. We have an empty video case. If we look down, we have a glass cutter and a newspaper and a camera. And if we take a closer look at the newspaper, it says, break-in at local pharmacy. Paseo County Police responded to a break-in at the Drug Depot Pharmacy on Venice Street in the early morning hours yesterday. Whoever it was knew exactly what they were looking for, said Police Chief Shones. They broke in the building through the back window, took the drugs, and were out in minutes. According to the report, several vials of Dianabol were taken. We were just lucky that no other damage was done to the store, said owner Stephen Beeman. The alarm report came into police headquarters at 2:00 a.m. on Thursday morning. Police responded and were on the scene within 20 minutes. A broken window was spotted immediately, but the thief had already left the scene. The break-in appears to be linked to 4 other robberies in Paseo County during the past year. An investigation into the crime is currently underway. According to police, there was one witness who is being questioned in association with this incident. Investigators are also currently questioning 2 men in their late 20s. Anyone with information concerning this crime may contact Paseo County Police Department headquarters at 555-4855. Interesting. Okay. So now I think we should go check out the library, but before we do that, since we're here, let's call Paseo Police Department, shall we? 555-4855.
This is Detective Dabrowski. Nancy, quit playing with that phone and get back to work. You've got a murder to solve.
Don't tell me what to do, Detective Bronski. I'm already doing your job and not getting paid for it. What gives you the right to sass me? If anything, I should be sassing you. I'm doing your job. Alright. Let's see here. We are going to go down to the library now and do some investigating in there. So here we have various student artwork. More bulletin boards. Oh joy. Which, if you've played the remastered version of this game or watched a video of it, a lot of these posters and signs on the bulletin boards were actually reused for the remastered game. So they look very familiar. So this one said there's more than one way to remove a chain so thick. Aside from the combination, Mel's bolt cutter can do the trick. So clearly we're going to be needing a bolt cutter. Thank goodness we already found it. And over here we have another bulletin board. It says, when things go astray tonight at Vandalay, it will not help to run. So you must grab the gun. Interesting. All right. So grab the key.
I need something to make this work.
Grab the correct key. All right. Such good music in here. We have some different colored words up top. It says, sabotage should cause concern, but with the gloves, you will not burn. Good to know. I'm going to go over here to the reference section and take a look at some of these books here. Okay, there isn't one to grab here, or at least not that I saw. Let me take a look at this one. We have some Braille. So we have the Braille alphabet, which will come in handy for a puzzle here later. We have Morse code, which this book would help us decode the message around the picture of Florida in the book in Aunt Eloise's house. We have classifying fingerprints, which we don't do a fingerprint puzzle in this game, but we do have one in Treasure in the Royal Tower. We don't necessarily get to classify them, but we do get to work with them. Let's see here. There it is.
That medallion Connie is wearing is kanji for crane.
So right here, and as Nancy said, the crane symbol is also on the medallion that Connie wears, which also is the name of the judo school. Interesting. So here we have the card catalog. Back in the day, we didn't have computers to look stuff up. We had to use the card catalog. English Essays Through the Ages, a diverse collection of the country's greatest literary works of the 20th century. And you should recognize this title. That is the title of the book that was in Jake's locker. And we have some maps over here. So if we look at the blue letters first, it says the bolt cutter you must take, or you could be the next Jake. So lots of hints telling us that we are going to need a bolt cutter. We have another map here. And this is just a little word search type puzzle. I'm not going to spend too much time on that right now, but it is fun. And we have more magazines over here, including an issue of Sports Today. It says the race to the finish line, the real home team advantage, managing stress for competition, making time for fitness and fun, and harmful effects of the steroids on athletes.
Dianabol is a steroid and was one of the drugs stolen from the drug depot.
So like Nancy said, Dianabol is a steroid, and according to the newspaper that we found in Jake's locker, that was the medication that was found to be stolen from Vandalay Pharmaceuticals. So someone is stealing steroids. No bueno. All right, and lo and behold, we have another puzzle. So this is an example of a cipher called at bash, which is a letter substitution cipher. And if we swap some letters out here, it says the one with the temper and the iron fist is more than a prime suspect on Jake's blackmail list. Someone has an iron fist. Oh, real quick, something caught my eye here. CSSD and then a number 5555836. 5836. All right, we'll have to give that one a call too and see what we get there. 5836. Ugh, navigation in this can be a bit clunky. There we go. Just go down the steps, Nancy. There we go. Alright, and we'll go call that number here. Don't want to go that way. We'll talk to Hal in a minute. So much turning, good gracious. Okay.
You have reached the Crane School of Defense. For more information on our programs, please see our advertisements in the Paseo Times and Judo Today magazine.
Interesting. So the phone number on that pad of paper also brought us to the Crane School of Judo. All right, speaking of judo, let's talk to Connie.
What's up, Nancy?
You're wearing a Japanese medallion with a symbol that means crane. And Crane is the name of the judo school on the poster in the gym.
What a coincidence. Funny, I never noticed.
We're not done talking to you, Connie.
What is it you want now?
Don't get lippy with me. I have questions. You have answers.
Hulk told me money's been tight for you these days.
What a dork. Hulk Sanchez doesn't know the first thing about my life. He needs to get a life and stop talking about mine.
Do you know why Jake had a video camera in his locker?
No. Why are you so interested in Jake anyway? I gotta go now. Later.
Because I like the tea, Connie. That's why I'm interested in Jake. Good gracious. So much sass from these characters.
Hi, Nancy.
Connie told me you study too hard. Is that true?
Connie doesn't know my study habits. I can handle my studies.
Do you know why Jake had a video camera in his locker?
I didn't know Jake was interested in video. I avoided him whenever I could.
Talk to you later.
Farewell, Nancy.
All right. So, Hal didn't have too much for us. Let's see if we have anything from Hulk here.
How's it going?
Do you know why Jake had a video camera in his locker?
I didn't pay much attention to Jake. I'm tired of talking about that loser.
Well, I'm not.
Back off, Nancy.
You back off, Hulk.
Tell me about the robbery at the drug depot pharmacy.
Why would I know about a robbery? All I know about is football.
But the big question is football beach? Alright, so I think that's pretty much all we can do with talking to our characters right now. So now what we're going to do is investigate the note that we found that said side of school. So let's see what we can find at the side of the school. So if we go over here, we can go over to some windows. And this was the puzzle that I was referring to earlier when I said they took it out of the remastered version because apparently we are not okay with Nancy vandalizing property, which she's done it in other games, but I digress. Anyway, we're going to cut a hole, and now we are in the teacher's lounge. Which, side note really quick, this is a very nice teacher's lounge. I am kind of jealous. Very nice, very cozy. Nice, relaxing green color on the walls. It's lovely. Okay, so some stuff to explore in here. We have a piece of paper that has some ASL, or American Sign Language, letters on here. So this is an O. So it says O was innocent. I don't know who O is, but apparently they're innocent. Interesting. Alright, we have some stuff on the table, but we can't do anything with that. So here we have some letters around this map. It says, a trophy was not the only prize, CW, 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 but also money of a greater size, CW, 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 CW. So I think someone with the initials CW won a trophy and some money. CW. I wonder what character that could be. So here we have the senior final papers. And let's take a look at A+ Student of the Month, Mr. Hal Tanaka.
This essay looks exactly like the one in Jake's locker.
Why would this essay be exactly like the one in Jake's locker, though? That doesn't make any sense. Unless Hal copied it. Dun, dun, dun! Alright, here we have the good old periodic table of elements. So if we look at the letters that are outlined in red, and we read them backwards, it spells search. That's the only one we have to read backwards, actually. The blue and the green we can read normally. So the blue letters say behind, and the green letters say boiler. So search behind boiler. And now, oh, the nostalgic stars zooming by screensaver. I remember having this screensaver. I'm also pretty sure that when I was in 3rd grade, the computer we had in our classroom was this exact model. I'm like almost positive it was. It looks exactly like it. Okay, so our login name, we're going to use our Aunt Eloise's password. Excuse me for typing slowly here. I'm typing with one hand. Nope. O-Y-L. There we go. Alright, so now we can snoop through all of Aunt Eloise's files. So the library to-do list, locate missing book for English essays through the ages, gather donations for sophomore book sale, update meeting information for Paseo Book Club, take down student art exhibit on Friday, and have library computers networked with school. There's a floppy disk, but we don't have one, or a CD. We can print something off. Here we have a list of keys. This is going to be extremely important. The maintenance room, which we looked at earlier. The password for that is note. We have some mail. Eloise Drew, just to let you know, the main lights were left on in the library the past 2 nights. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Doyle Burnett, head of security. And we don't have access to the internet, and we don't have access to the trash. So now let's take a look at what we sent to the printer. Alright, it is a security detail report from Doyle Burnett. So 5:15, lights left on in the library, sent email to Eloise Drew. 6 p.m., all outer entrance doors checked and locked. Backpack belonging to Connie Watson found in student union, placed and lost and found. Several outside security lights are out. Work order submitted. Toolbox from Dillon HVAC service left in boil room, left note with maintenance. 7 o'clock p.m. patrolled outside grounds on foot. Dumpsters by cafeteria were not properly secured. Several raccoons in area. I've sent several notes to kitchen staff to secure dumpsters. This needs to be addressed. 8:05 p.m. observed young man peering through school entrance doorway. He identified himself as an exchange student and was trying to retrieve his homework. I let him in and escorted him to his locker and escorted him out of the building. So an exchange student. I wonder if that was, Sal. Not Sal, Hal. 8:05 p.m. observed young man peering through. Nope, we just read that. At approximately 8:30, I overheard two individuals arguing in the video lab room on the first floor. When I approached the lab, two males exited from the door and ran down the hall toward the school entrance when they saw me. The first male was approximately 5 foot 5 inches, 120 pounds, red hair, 15 to 18 years old. He wore a green windbreaker and jeans. The second male was older and heavy set, 25 to 30 years old. The younger male ran out of the school exit while the older male continued down the hallway. I pursued the older male but could not locate him after he turned the corner. The exit near the boiler room had already been locked, so I suspect the trespasser had a key to open it. A work order for the lock to be changed has been submitted. No equipment appeared to be vandalized or missing in the video lab. I have left a message with L. Stevens about the incident. 9:25, caught several students soaping teachers' lounge windows. Students admitted they were engaged in a senior prank. I instructed the students to clean the windows and leave campus. The students involved were Daryl Gray, Lena Morgan, Lionel Ibsen, Linda Tiaka, Odelia Carson, and Neil Hendrickson. Students' names have been given to Principal Parton. And if we take a look at this here, this spells, oh my goodness, I can't talk. This spells out Braille keypad, which is going to be actually what we do here shortly. Okay. I think it is time to go talk to Daryl again. Here we are, Maxine's Diner. And let's go see what our good buddy Daryl has to say after everything we just learned.
How can I help, my number one detective?
So see, we have a lot of different things to talk about with him.
How well do you know Hulk Sanchez?
Well, I know the guy can scarf down half a dozen burgers at a time. He's the best linebacker ever to play for the Manatees. He also told me he's really psyched to play college ball next year.
College football?
Hulk's dream is to become a great college football star and then play for the Miami Dolphins. He lives and breathes football.
Do you know Connie Watson?
I've seen her around, but we've never had a class together. I don't think she's ever been to Maxine's.
Why do you think she's never been to the diner?
I'm not sure. She's very private about what she does after school.
What can you tell me about Hal Tanaka?
Well, for one thing, his name isn't really Hal. He uses Hal because his Japanese name is way hard to pronounce.
Gotta love that leg.
He's an exchange student who's all study, no play. And he's obsessed with getting a college scholarship. Poor guy.
What's wrong with wanting a college scholarship?
I feel sorry for him because he's missing out on all the fun of high school. He needs to seriously chill.
Okay, but seriously, those scholarships are so nice. I'm just saying.
Do you know why Jake had a video camera in his locker?
Well, Jake was a member of the film club. He was always messing around with video equipment.
Film club?
A former student donated some high-tech video equipment to the club. Jake was filming his own project.
Any idea what Jake's film project was about?
Not sure. I guess he was shooting a documentary, because I never saw him with a script or any actors.
Why would Jake have an old English book in his locker?
Jake wasn't really what you'd call a scholar. I don't know why he'd have that book.
He was learning to be a better person.
Was Jake interested in judo?
You're kidding, right? The only physical thing Jake did was to think up new ways to get other people to do his work for him.
Ouch.
What do you know about the break-in at the pharmacy?
Well, the police thought it was a prank at first because it didn't look like anything had been taken. Then the pharmacist found one particular drug missing. I think it was a steroid or something.
Hal, Hulk, and Connie were all involved with Jake. He had information that could jeopardize Hal's career. Connie once dated Jake, and Hulk seems awfully touchy about that break-in at the drug depot.
In my humble opinion, you either hand the case over to the police or keep pressuring each of them until somebody cracks. Oh yeah, Nancy, I just remembered. Some guy dropped off this note for you. I think it's important.
What guy?
It was weird. I've never seen him before. He just handed me the note and took off.
See you later.
Alright, so we have a note. I have the solution to your mystery. Meet me in the boiler room. I also love that the handwriting on that note looks eerily similar to the note that we get in Message in the Haunted Mansion. Love that. Alright, off to the boiler room we go. Alright, so the note said to meet me in the boiler room. So let's see here. See if I can find it my first try. Nope. Wrong way. Okay, we need to go this way. There we go. And it's over here. And we have to use Braille from that notebook in the library. So, N, come on, N-O-T. I absolutely, definitely do not have the Braille for note memorized specifically from that puzzle. Nope, that's not something I did. All right. Suspenseful music going here. Alright, so notice there is a chain around the boiler here and a padlock. Now there's two ways you could do this.
I need something to make this work. I need something to make this work. I need something to make this work.
In the remastered version of this game, you can put in the year that the school was established to open up the lock, or you can just brute strength it and use the bolt colors. Alright, and now we're going to move some things around here. Come on. There we go. Okay, so that one goes here. That one goes like that. And there's our last one. Alright, so now the boiler is turned off and taken care of. We do not need to worry about it blowing up the school anymore. Can grab the gloves left behind here. And here's the directions for turning the boiler valves. I just happened to know that solution already, so I didn't have to look at that. Save a little time. Alright, and here we have a Maxine's Diner cup and matchbook with a number written inside here, 5553784. Have to look into that momentarily. Use the gloves to get the grate open and get out of here. Oh, grab the tape and we're free. All right, let's go back to Aunt Eloise's and take a look at the tape that we found. Also, big indicator of when this game came out. The clues on a VHS tape. So we have someone climbing out a Vandalay pharmaceutical, and it's Hulk, and he's putting something into his pocket. Looks like he stole something. The masked judo competitor with the trophy was Connie? I am shocked. And there is Hal copying his essay out of a kind of comically large book. And that's the tape. Oh, one more. What could this be? Daryl? What is he doing? And who's that? You know, dude, that is so not healthy for you. Just saying. You may be a bad guy, but we worry about your lung health. Anyway, alright, so with that tape, Jake Rogers had a lot of details on all of our suspects. So now, let's go talk to them about it. We'll start with Daryl. Oh, maybe not. We'll be back in 10 minutes, so I guess to the school we go. Okay, so now that we saw that videotape, let's talk to our suspects again and see what they have to say for themselves.
I'm not into pushy girls. Do me a favor. Bother someone else.
I'm not into crabby jocks, so I guess we're even.
Jake knew you broke into the drug depot. He was blackmailing you, wasn't he?
Yeah, he found out I stole the steroids and threatened to turn me over to the cops. Would have meant the end of my football career if I didn't cooperate.
What did he want from you?
You name it. Chauffeur, errand boy, bodyguard. He loved ordering me around like I was his slave.
Why did you steal the steroids?
I got hurt really bad in a game a few weeks back, broke 4 ribs and cracked 2 others. I had to keep playing even though I was hurt. Needed to impress the scouts. And then I started taking steroids. Wasn't worth it because I was still in pain and all my free time was spent playing errand boy for Jake.
Did you kill him?
I'm not a killer, Nancy. I didn't do it. I'm sorry Jake's dead, but I can't waste my time worrying about it. Sorry, can't talk now. I gotta go to practice later.
So there you have it. Jake was blackmailing Hulk into being his bodyguard and errand boy. It's quite the motive, if you ask me, even if Hulk says he didn't do it. Alright, let's go talk to Connie and Hal.
What is it you want now?
I know you're the unknown winner of that judo competition. Jake Rogers had it all on videotape.
Yes, Nancy. I'm the mysterious winner of the men's tournament. It wasn't easy for me, and I'm proud of what I did.
Why did you enter a men's tournament when you could have easily won the women's division?
The prize money is a lot better in the men's division. It was enough to cover the tuition for college next year. Hey, I'll do whatever it takes to reach my goal. Now I'm going to be the first one in my family to go to college.
Could you have hated Jake enough to kill him?
Do you think I would give up everything I've worked for and do a stupid thing like that? Jake treated me really badly, but I'd never kill him. You can turn me in if you want to. I'm telling the truth.
Goodbye.
Bye, Nancy.
Alright, so there you have it. He was also blackmailing Connie. Alright, so while we are here, let's call that number that we found on the matchbook down in the boiler room when we got stuck down there.
Hello, you have reached Vandelay Pharmaceuticals Drug Depot. Due to unforeseen depletions of our drug supplies, we are temporarily closed.
Interesting. So the number in the matchbook that we find in the boiler room was for Vandelay Pharmaceuticals? Huh. Interesting. And now let's go talk to Hal.
Hi, Nancy.
Jake knew you copied your essay from that book of English essays, didn't he?
Yes, Nancy. I'm very ashamed. My family will be extremely unhappy about this terrible mistake I have made. Somehow, Jake found out I copied that old essay. Then he blackmailed me into doing his homework for him.
Why did you copy the essay?
I had no other choice. My family won't let me stay in the United States unless I get a scholarship next year. I had to take extra courses to earn the scholarship. Before I realized what I had done, I was buried in work. I copied the essay because I was desperate.
What happened when Jake found out?
Jake demanded I do all his homework for the rest of the semester, or he would tell my family everything. What else could I do? My family was depending on me to succeed.
Were you desperate enough to kill him?
I was not happy about the situation, but I would never kill anyone. I value human life. Please don't tell anyone about this, I beg you. You will gain nothing if you do, and it would destroy my family if they knew what really happened. I regret what I have done. Please let me have this chance to become a doctor. I promise to make up for this mistake, even if it takes the rest of my life.
If you didn't kill Jake, do you have any idea who did?
When I delivered Jake's homework to him the other day, he mentioned being late for a meeting with Daryl Gray. It was very strange. I didn't know they were friends.
Talk to you later.
Goodbye, Nancy.
Alright, so he was meeting with Daryl Gray, and we saw that he had Daryl Gray on video as well. Could it be that he was also blackmailing Daryl? I think it's time we go have a talk with him, shall we? Alright, let's see what Daryl has to say.
How can I help, my #1 detective?
I saw Jake's tape, Daryl. I know he was blackmailing you.
You got me there, detective. But it didn't have to be like this. I wish we had met under different circumstances.
What were you selling? Drugs? Trade secrets?
I didn't know what I was getting into. This guy, Mitch Dillon, offered me a way to make some fast money. I needed the cash for school next year. So I went for it. All I had to do was pick up a package at the pharmaceutical company. But then Mitch threatened me.
So you were a drug runner? Oh, Daryl. But how did Jake find out?
I don't know, but Jake was always getting into someone's business. Maybe he overheard a conversation between me and Mitch. All I know is one day Jake stuck a videotape in my face and told me he had enough to put me away unless I paid him off. I had no choice but to cooperate. I guess he decided he could get more money out of Mitch. That was a big mistake. Mitch was in a different league than Jake.
Mitch killed Jake, didn't he?
Mitch is totally capable of it.
So there we have it. We now know our culprit, and it's someone that we haven't even met. Mitch Dillon.
Did Mitch also leave that note for me?
Nancy, you have no idea what kind of danger you're in right now. Mitch Dillon has nothing to lose at this point. Do yourself a favor and go to the cops.
Do you really want me to go to the police?
Yes.
Actually, I wish you could just forget this whole thing ever happened. But since you can't do that, I'd like to help. If it's not too late.
We need to get more evidence on Mitch Dillon. If only we can get him to confess his involvement with Jake's murder somehow.
I care about you, Nancy, and wish you weren't involved in this mess. But if you insist, I'll help you catch Mitch. I have to deliver more food to the pharmaceutical plant later. We can try and grab Mitch when I give him the package tonight.
See you later.
See you, beautiful.
So there we have it. We are going to get Mitch Dillon, and I don't know about you, but I think we need some backup. Okay, so I find this next part of this game kind of ridiculous in a way. Jake was awful to these people. Like, he did not deserve what he got, but he was awful. And now we're going to ask them if they will help us catch his... Yeah.
Hey, Nancy, need something?
Connie, we're going to find the person who killed Jake. If you help out now, the case will move a lot quicker.
I wish I could, Nancy. I can't take that kind of risk right now. Not with college just around the corner. If I get involved, the truth about the tournament would be exposed. I'll never go to college if that happens.
If you cooperated, you'd be helping out Daryl Gray.
This is so hard for me. I've been wanting Daryl to notice me since I was a freshman. But I've come too far to mess up my chances of getting into college.
Daryl's life is in danger. He really needs your help.
This is starting to get really intense. I don't want to get involved, even if it means I would get the chance to help Daryl.
Also, these are literal teenagers, and this guy is like a murderer. Why is it the teenager's responsibility to bring this guy now? It seems like the responsible thing to do right now would be to call the police.
Oh, it's you, Nancy. I'm really embarrassed to see you again.
Hal, we're going to find the person who killed Jake. If you help out now, this case will move a lot quicker.
My future is at stake. I have to make the grades, or my family won't continue to pay for my education. I must go now.
So Hal's not game for this takedown operation either. Can't say I blame him. Alright, let's go ask Hulk. I mean, let's be real, it would be kind of handy to go into a culprit confrontation with a literal football player on your side.
I've told you what I know. Listen, my body's my temple. I can't risk it for anyone.
Hulk, we're going to find the person who killed Jake. If you help out now, this case will move a lot quicker.
Sorry, babe. I can't risk getting involved.
Dude, do not call me babe. Alright, so that's it. None of the other suspects are going to help us out. Well, I guess they're not really suspects anymore. We know they didn't do it. But there you have it. We are going into this final confrontation with the equivalent of a drug dealer. Just us and Daryl. Let's do it. Alright. Culprit confrontation. Things are about to get intense. Okay, so what we have to do, quickly get the gun. Oh gosh, was I too late? There we go.
Dear Dad, case closed and Mitch is on his way to prison. Daryl's recovering just fine and Connie's giving him private judo lessons. Hulk agreed to pay for the damages to the pharmacy and Hal got his scholarship. Today, Aunt Eloise got a letter from a friend. Something about a television station and death threats. Sounds like another case for Nancy Drew. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Love, Nancy.
There we have it. The culprit confrontation at the end is literally to grab the weapon and point it at the dude. before he comes after you too. Super intense. The first time we played this game, that absolutely terrified me, and for whatever reason we were awful at getting the timing right on it, so we hit the end game sequence on that part specifically multiple times. There we have it. Case closed. This was so much fun to be able to come back and play this game again. I have so many fond memories of this game. Like I said, when I was playing through Stay Tuned for Danger and Treasure in the Royal Tower, these first 3 games that I played have a lot of nostalgia for me because I played them with my mom and my sister. We would sit at our computer desk in our computer room and play Nancy Drew. And that's how I got into these games. And it is so great to be able to come back to this game and play it again after all of these years. It is not the best game by any means, but it is one that I definitely hold close to my heart. And something that I absolutely love so much about these games specifically is the ability to sit down and bond as a family while playing these games. I had a student come in last week, super excited, and told me that his mom agreed to let him get a Nancy Drew game, and him and his mom and his sisters sat down and played Sea of Darkness together. And watching him talk about it and the way his face lit up absolutely warmed my heart, and it makes me so happy to know that these games are still so well loved by so many people, and there's still new people finding these games 25 years later after the original Secrets Can Kill came out. And I think that is absolutely beautiful. So on that note, we are going to wrap up this playthrough. Thank you so much for joining me on another video playthrough. I'm glad you were able to join me. If you haven't yet, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below and let me know what is a game that you would like to see remastered in honor of Secrets Can Kill and Secrets Can Kill Remastered. I would absolutely love to know your thoughts. Once again, thank you so much for watching me, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay sleuthy.